In the winter of 1919, the city of Boston was hit by a disaster so strange, it sounds like a tall tale. But for the residents of the North End, it was a terrifying reality. This is the story of a massive tidal wave of molasses. It all centered around a 50-foot-tall iron tank, filled to the brim with 2.3 million gallons of fermenting molasses. The temperature had risen rapidly that day, causing the molasses inside the poorly built tank to expand and build pressure. At roughly 12:40 p.m., the rivets finally gave way. A sound like a machine gun blast echoed through the streets as the tank burst. A wall of sticky liquid, 15 feet high, surged into the street at an incredible 35 miles per hour. It wasn't just liquid. It was a physical force that crushed buildings like they were made of matchsticks. At 35 miles per hour, there was no outrunning it. The molasses was so thick and heavy that it trapped everything in its path. Tragically, 21 people were killed, and over 150 were injured in the deluge. The North End was a densely populated area. Families, workers, and even horses were swallowed by the syrupy tide. Rescuers arrived quickly, but they found themselves waist-deep in a substance that acted like quicksand. The more victims struggled, the deeper they sank. It took days for the molasses to settle and for the full scale of the tragedy to be known. The cleanup was an absolute nightmare. The molasses had hardened in the cold air, becoming a tar-like substance. Fresh water didn't work. They had to use salt water from the harbor to cut through the stickiness. Over 80,000 man-hours were spent. For weeks, the harbor water stayed brown. And for decades afterward, residents said they could still smell molasses on hot summer days. The disaster led to one of the first major class action lawsuits in Massachusetts history against U.S. industrial alcohol. The company claimed anarchists had blown up the tank, but the evidence told a different story: corporate negligence. The court found the company responsible. They had ignored warning signs and failed to properly test the tank before filling it. This tragedy changed the law forever. It led to stricter building codes and engineering requirements for all industrial structures. Today, a small plaque in the North End is all that remains of the site. But the memory of that sweet disaster lingers. It serves as a reminder of the importance of safety and the bizarre, tragic power of 2.3 million gallons of syrup, a sticky piece of history that Boston will never forget. Still, after all these years, the story stays with us.